show that you're about to hear contains vulgar language and two very opinionated people. If you don't like their opinion, fuck you.
Q Smooth, Miss Ebony. Q Smooth, Miss Ebony. Let's go. Q Smooth, Miss Ebony. Let's go. Mars and Venus show.
Yo. Welcome back to the Mars and Venus show. It's your boy Q Smooth.
And your girl, Miss Ebony.
What's happening, sis? What's happening? Listen, we ask a couple of questions in the polls, when we put it in the group, what our next topic should be. So why don't you go ahead and tell them what topic won?
All right. So the topic for today is the topic that won the most votes is breakups.
Mm-hmm.
How do you handle them and how do you move forward? I know, breakups. Woo.
So let's start with the first part of this.
Okay.
In order for our topic to be about breakups, we have to be talking about the reasons for the breakups in the first place.
Right.
So let's start there. Let's start with that particular aspect and see how we can quarterback this thing. So last show I started with mine. I'll let you start today. Can you do that?
Okay.
Can you do that for us? Can you do that for us?
And I won't just list them all. I'll start with one. We'll just,
Just one. Yeah.
Okay.
Quarterback this thing. We quarterback this thing back and forth, baby. Let's go.
All right. Well, the obvious, everyone probably is going to know, especially women, cheating. Cheating is a reason for a breakup. That's a big reason for a breakup.
Well, let's look at that one. Let's examine that.
Okay.
So, all right. So I'm gonna ask a question, and it's gonna seem like it's very, very open-minded. But I have to preface it with that because when you say cheating, are you talking about physically cheating or mentally cheating?
Oh, that is good. Oh, that's really good. Oh, yeah. I'm talking about right now physically cheating.
Okay. So going out and being with another person of the opposite sex in our heterosexual case, or whatever it is for everybody else.
Yeah.
I got you. So I'll say that cheating is the number one. Like if this was Family Feud, that would be the number one answer on the board. It would definitely be the number one answer on the board. But we also lose the fact that what caused the cheating.
Okay.
So we'll put a pin in that. Hold up, let me put a
pen.
pin.
Look, put your little pen. There you go. His pen.
Pen in it.
You give us one.
All right. So compatibility.
That's good.
So think about it like this. we get with people sometimes based off of looks, based off what we think they are, based about the representative that they provide to us. And we don't really know the person.
Right.
So we're not compatible because we don't have the same values or have the same ideas about what a relationship should be.
Right.
So that's the second reason I think that people break up, and I mean, I really think that it's hard to build compatibility out of nowhere. So I think that's the biggest part of it. You know what I'm saying?
I think that is good. I think that is really good. You said something, the misrepresentation, because honestly, when you meet someone, they seal the deal with who they want you to think they are, because a lot of times when you're meeting someone, you're telling them the things you don't like, right?
Absolutely.
So, for example, when that guy tell that woman, I can't stand a chick that nag. So if she is a nagger, she doesn't come off that way in the beginning, and then
she's gonna be catered to what you told her that you didn't like in the beginning, right?
Yeah, and vice versa.
Yeah.
I'll say relocation. As we get older and as we expand in our careers, people relocate, and a lot of people don't want to do the long distance relationships, or they try it and then it doesn't work. So relocation would be like another reason.
All right, so I'll even piggyback off of that relocation part, and say that you're right, because relocation is a major key. Because if you really, really love someone, if you really think you're going to have a connection with this person, it can't be broken. Like the connection that can't be broken. You want to make sure that if you're willing to be in this relationship or whatever it is at this particular point, that no form of distance or anything would be able to deter you from being with that person.
Right. True. I agree.
But that conversation needs to be had initially. So like if your person is going through a career change or something like that, and you're not willing to make that transition with them, then ultimately you probably weren't a good fit for them in the first place. So it goes back to compatibility. So you have to really put yourself in the mindset of, is this the person I really see myself being with?
Right.
Or am I just trying to pencil in something to fill in the time from another person?
Yeah.
So I like that relocation one. Let's do incompatibility sexually. Because you always try to say I'm a reserved, but I'll go sexual.
Okay, I see you opening up. You see, I had to sit up a little bit.
Whatever.
Okay, co-host. I see.
I'm not that reserved. What I'll say is you meet a person, personalities match, mentality matches, but then when you get to take that extra step, it doesn't match up. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like it happens, whether it's the comfort of the person trying to please you or whatever, or not even trying to learn you at this point, just using the things that they've learned before. So sexual compatibility is another big key for a breakup.
That's a biggie, because that'll cause you to cheat.
Yeah. So like if you're not fulfilled at home, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go find somebody who is gonna do it for you, right? Yeah. And that goes both ways. I mean, both ways. Always, whatever ways that we got.
Whoever you with, whoever you are.
Whatever ways we got going on.
Right.
I keep forgetting that we have to keep it politically correct at this point.
That's right.
But that's a huge selling point for some people because, like one, if I'm not coming home to a satisfying interaction, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point?
But you know what? And that's a biggie. And back to like with that. Here's another one. It kind of that connection. Having a connection, right? Because in the bedroom, especially a lot of times you'll start off with an average person. You'll start with somebody and you connect sexually, right? And it's good. It's going good. And then when you start really thinking about your connection, the conversation, that you actually have with the individual is dead. And you like, what? Let's just go back and have sex because that's what you can't have sex the entire relationship. You have to have that connection.
So like that goes back to compatibility, like we talked about before. Yeah. But on a personal level, you have to connect with the person you think that's going to be the match for you, right? Right. So if we're not connecting, we can have explosive sexual chemistry.
I'm telling you, yes.
But if we're not connecting mentally, it's not going to work.
Right. It's not gonna last. Yeah.
And I think that's the those big pieces right there as far as how we break down, what happens in breakups, like what causes them. Like the reasons are very numerous, but we're just hitting a couple of big points at this point. So let's talk about it like this real quick. I just want to ask, when a breakup happens, this is going to segue into our next segment, but when a breakup happens, like, what's your mentality like as a woman? Like, what happens to you mentally as a woman? Because I'm going to tell you what happens to me as a man. You tell me what happens to you as a woman. So I'll let you go first. Let you go first.
As a woman, it's almost like death or grief. Yeah, it's that deep because we love hard. We love hard. So it's almost like a death and, or grief, because we take it at, the average woman will hang in there and we will put up with some stuff. We'll put up with the cheating, the lying, the, insecurity, the no connect. Like we try to really hang in there before we let go. So when the breakup happens, whether it's the individual we're with or whether it's us breaking up, it's almost like a death.
Okay. And
you coming from a man perspective.
I think it's really it's kind of like freedom, and then it goes to seriously, it goes from freedom to darkness at some point. Okay. Because there's no in between. So the freedom part is, okay, I probably got rid of a person that I probably wasn't going to be connected to for a long time.
Okay.
The depth part is, damn, I might have missed out on my soulmate.
Ooh.
But again, we didn't get to that. If we didn't get to that point where I felt like you were my soulmate, then I probably won't really have a reaction to it.
Yeah.
I think that we have to we process things differently.
Yeah.
You guys process things emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
We process things physically. What's taken away from us physically?
Yeah.
What am I not getting anymore?
Yeah.
I'm not getting any more titties, no more ass, no more pieces, none of that.
Right.
I'm not getting none of that. So
Mm-hmm.
now the first thing I'm gonna equate it to is I'm losing out because I cannot have access to her vagina anymore.
Really? But you know what? I respect your transparency.
I have to be transparent because that's how I think.
Another way we look at it is if it's something we really, really wanted to let go, or was easy to let go, we still failure. We don't like to fail. Women don't like to fail. We like to be successful. We like to accomplish different things in life. So if we've wasted our time in this relationship, and I don't care if it's 1 week, but just think like, like I said earlier, women, we stay in stuff for weeks and months and years. So failure.
All right, I'll trump that one. And you say failure. Mm-hmm. All right, so disappointment is the one. Mm-hmm. Because now you felt like you put all your eggs in this basket, and now you're disappointed because it did not work out. And now you've invested some type of emotional energy into this person, and they have these emotional baggage things that go with them when they leave.
And look, probably a little money.
Yeah, a little bit of money.
You're probably start counting like, you know what?
Like I'm gonna hit this motherfucker up and get my goddamn coins back. I've never done that, by the way. I've never done that, by the way. But
you count it as a loss. It should be something that I feel like maybe even men and women can claim on their taxes. And he's like,
wait, no. You did not just say claim on their taxes.
Yeah, because think about it. You've been with somebody 2-3 years, and then it don't work, and you start thinking about it. I done took them on a trip. I done bought that. It's not getting expensive on both sides. I don't care if you're dating a woman or a man. It get it. Especially, when you fall in love.
Yeah, no.
It's some good sex. For us, we fall in love, and women, we, will give the gifts. But men, y'all get sprung, some good sex, and here come the money.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, no. It's not let's just stay with the disappointment at this point. Anyway,
is that what that's when it rolled right back to disappointment, right?
Yeah, it goes back to disappointment again. Like, God.
What about this? Let me see how you feel about this. Insecurity. Would that be a good reason for a breakup for a man? Insecurity?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One. So let's do it like this, man. I think that insecurity is the main reason outside of cheating that people break up. Because one, you don't make me feel secure enough that I can trust you with the things that I'm going to tell you. Okay. I don't trust you as a partner. I don't trust you as a person that's going to be compatible with me. I don't trust you at all. So like that's where it comes from. Like you just have to understand that not everybody's going to be on your level.
Right.
But when you go into these situations, you can't invest too much of yourself, because what happens is you start to drain your own capacity. Like you can't absorb anything if you're still drained. Like if you're fully drained, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a music break real quick. Okay. And we're gonna chop it up to my man Big V from Nappy Roots, man. All on me. But we'll come back, and you guys stay tuned, man. And again, man, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Happy holidays to everybody and their families, man. It is the holiday season. I know that everybody's probably, practices something different. So happy holidays overall. Yeah. I won't name one particular to be PC. We'll be back. We'll be back after Big V, all on me. Stay tuned, guys.
King of the beast. Lord have mercy. Have mercy. she could have her way. I mean, Neil done everything, did. Oh man, she could have it all. It's alright with me. Tell her.
Do what you wanna do, go anywhere you want. It's alright with me. You can have what you wanna have, get anything you want. Girl, it's all on me. We can do what you wanna do, go anywhere you want. It's alright. You can have what you wanna have, get anything you want. Girl, it's all on me. Let me be honest. I said I've been following you and your ebonics. You got me feeling some type of way, girl, you be on it. What's that you want? I don't know what it is about you, but I just can't get over your introductions. I'll be down to give you everything, girl. Wherever you like. We can go anywhere. Go wherever you like. You can do what you wanna do, go anywhere you want. It's alright with me. You can have what you wanna have, get anything you want. Girl, it's all on me. We can do what you wanna do, go anywhere you want. It's alright. You can have what you wanna have, get anything you want. Girl, it's all on me.
Give you a picket fence, house and silver spoon. Put my astronaut suit on and go get you the moon. Run you a bubble bath, snuggle and make you laugh. Love the dimples in your cheek when you smile and laugh. May I have your autograph? Your diabetes sweet, like a rose with no thorn. Beautiful, unique. How about a shopping spree? Everything for free, in everything you see. Courtesy of me. By the way, the name is V. You know my resume. Oh no, hell no. Look like a good day for me to get to know you and have a chance to show you. And if I get to know you, you'll be loving what I show you. Or we can cruise and take a flight on a private jet. If we choose, we play fight and watch the sunset. Picnic on the line. You having fun yet? Cause it's only just because I ain't done yet.
We can do what you wanna do, go anywhere you want. It's alright with me. You can have what you wanna have, get anything you want. Girl, it's all on me. We can do what you wanna do, go anywhere you want. It's alright. You can have what you wanna have, get anything you want. Girl, it's all on me. 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 Girl, it's all on me.
Woo, man. My man, Big V, Nappy Roots, man. All on me. Yo, listen. All I'm saying is I watched the video and I was like, wait, why they got burgers at the end? I was hungry. I'm hungry. Is what I'm
Isn't
saying.
it something how you can watch a video the first time, but then when you watch it again, you pick up something that you didn't even notice?
Yeah. I'm like,
You shot me.
nigga, did you just take it to the Burger King or something? What'd you take it to? It's all on me. All right, I got it.
All on me.
So, we were talking about reasons for breakup first. Let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about how we process the breakup.
Okay.
Because what ends up happening is some people become jaded, some people become bitter, some people just can't get it out of their system that this has happened to them.
Yeah.
And I think that we start to project that on other relationships that are around us.
Yeah.
Whether it's family, whether it's work related.
Yeah.
You know, we start to ball all of that emotion up and it comes out in places where it shouldn't.
Yeah.
So I'll say the first step for me is going to be take time to self-evaluate.
Yeah.
Right. So once it's done,
yeah,
you know, once y'all go your separate ways and there's no more ties, self-evaluate, find out what it was that you contributed to the breakup.
Good stuff, co-host. I like that.
You know what? First and foremost, I hate when you do that,
I think
but I
you
love
stole
it.
that from me, even though we didn't.
I don't think I stole that one. That was on me. But you have to take time to self-evaluate and find out what it was that caused you to be a part of this breakup. What could you change to make it different, or find out what triggers happened in that relationship to get it to the point where you guys were breaking up.
Right.
I don't know if you want to dive into a little bit deeper on those type of subjects, but if you want to, you can.
I like that. I think that's something that a lot of us don't do when it comes to the breakup, especially when someone breaks up with us. You know what I mean? We focus so much on them breaking up with us and what they did, and or even when we decide to break up with them. Even in a time where you're the one that's ending things, you still should self-evaluate. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it's so important, because before you go into the next relationship thinking that you had nothing to do with this breakup, I'm not saying that you did, but when you really take the time to self-evaluate, it prepares you for the next relationship, and it helps you in your process of getting over. Because if you don't self-evaluate, that a lot of people are like, I didn't get closure. That's really part of your closure. When you take the time to take accountability of the role you played, like, for example, let's bring down real quick. We don't have to stay on it, but like cheating, right? So I don't personally believe that you can make someone go out there and cheat on you, right? However, you've played a part, right? Whether it's the woman or the man. Like, for example, women, because people cheat for different reasons, right? So if the person cheated on you, and let's say you weren't giving them intimacy and sex, or you gave them reasons to feel insecure, or you like a disrespecting, right? Like, let's say the woman, she just always disrespected her man. I know I'm a woman, y'all, but you're always disrespecting your man. He didn't feel, respected, and then he go out there, whatever. I'm not saying it's your fault. Let me just say that first. But you have to take accountability. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's stop talking about everybody. I'm talking about myself. I've been cheated on before, right? And what I had to do was, of course, I did not force him or make him make that decision. But when I had to really think about it, I had to really think about what part did I play. Did I give him the attention that he was seeking? You know what I mean? And that's why communication plays such a big part. You know what I mean? Because if they're not communicating, you don't know what you're not doing, or what they're doing.
That's the key.
That's the key. However, if they are communicating, and like, baby, like, we ain't had sex in months, and they're telling you that, I'm not saying it's right. You got to say that over and over, because this triggered the women. Text messages.
First and foremost, I already know what's going to happen. But we're not going to let them, infiltrate your inbox at this point. We're not going to let them. But here's the thing, and I think most people fail to make the connection between these two things. Intimacy and sex are two different things.
Yes, two different things.
So that's probably going to be a whole nother show, but let's go ahead and break it down real quick. Intimacy is the actual act of caring for somebody. Sex is just the act of penetrating somebody.
Right.
Those are the main differences, but there are so many more. So I'm gonna put a pin in that real quick.
I like that. That's a whole nother show. I'm
gonna put a pin in that. That's a whole nother show.
Let us know if y'all want that to be a whole nother show.
Absolutely.
That from you.
So when we start to look at the process of healing from it, or to be able to get to the next level of whether you feel like it's grief or whatever you feel it is for you, like it feels so different for so many people. I would say that you would have to start to look at things that distract you from it. So in that particular instance, I'll say tap into your creative side. Start looking at the things that you're good at. Whether it be raising plants like gardening, house plants, growing herbs, whatever it is whatever it is you can do inside your personal space to get your mind off of the scenario that you just went through. and also, start writing, painting, all
Mhm.
those things, because it gets your creative juices flowing, and then you can start to look at things objectively, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's where most people miss, is they don't look at things objectively. They look at
Mhm.
it streamlined as
Mhm.
one place. They don't
Mhm.
do anything other than that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I think that's another way to process
Mhm.
the breakup.
Mhm.
And I think that's kind of pointing you on the path of getting better. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I think that's a good idea for everybody
Yep.
to do that. So
Okay. I
once
got
you
one.
once you got one for me?
So, we're talking about processing and handling a breakup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you didn't get an opportunity to tell whoever broke up with you or you broke up with them how you feel, I say journal. Write it out. Share it with someone that's close to you. But get out your feelings. Whether you want to scream, cry, if you want to do something physical, I suggest you go to in fact, my co-host and my husband went, go to the little place where you can break up some stuff. You
The
gotta play.
rage room. The rage room. Ah, yeah, I went to the rage room. That shit was.
Do not, I'm telling you, do not, okay? Because I've done it and you will get arrested. Do not go bust no tires, bust the windows, break it.
I bust the windows out your
Not your car.
car.
I've never broken into your house or broken anybody's house.
My bad, my bad, my bad.
Don't do anything that's going to send you to jail and mess up your career, okay? Because they're going to still be out there living their life. And now here you are with your rage and your anger and you sitting in jail. So don't do that. But share it with someone, get it out. But you don't necessarily have to get it out with the person that you broke up with or they broke up with you. I don't necessarily believe that you have to have conversation at the it's only but so much talking you can do. You know what I mean? And now it just sounds like you try to plead your case and get them back. And
yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do
you don't want to do that. I am a person, and you tell me how you feel, Coach. I believe if something's meant to be, then it will definitely come back around. But there's no listen, ladies and fellas, y'all do what y'all want. But we are not begging this brother to take us back. Okay. Whether if he messed up,
we definitely not begging them. We definitely not begging those sisters to take us back.
Now, sometimes you all are, because especially if you're the person that
I'm not.
Listen, if you are the reason for the breakup,
if it was my fault, you have to.
Because ladies, if you know that you got your good man, you the reason. Okay, that's a whole nother show. We still talking about process and handling. But yeah, so that's my second piece. I'm gonna let you say another one. So, like I said again, you can chime off of it, or you can give us another one. Is journal, write it, or share it with someone close, but definitely get it out. Don't hold it in, because then you'll go into your next relationship with baggage. So go ahead.
Yeah. So that's the key. You have to get it out. Creatively, whatever it is, you have to get it out. So you talked about the rage room. That was so great, because it lets off steam, but you also have to be able to voice what you're feeling. And the physical part of it is different, and it releases the endorphins that you need to release. But to actually talk to somebody who understands where you've been is probably more healing than anything.
Yeah.
But most people don't have that, because what they're going to get is a person that judges them.
That's true.
Because they think that you're the problem.
Right.
So you have to be careful who you divulge this information to.
That's good. That's good stuff.
So I think it's really a key of just trying to minimize the impact of the hurt first, and then getting to that point where you can get those things out. Because if you started to talk about it initially, it's going to feel like excruciating pain. It's going to hurt. Guys, ladies, gentlemen, everybody, you got to realize it's going to hurt, especially if you invested emotional energy into this person.
It's part of the process.
It's a part of the process, but it's going to hurt. What's going to happen is you have to be able to process the hurt without feeling the resentment. And then when you do that, you force yourself to grow further. And I think that's where most people miss the point. You have to find the point where you can grow. But that's the part that's going to come up next. At this point, what we're going to do is we're going to take a break and we're going to jump off into one of my favorite songs again, Amari the King. But happy born day to my man, yo. Like, seriously,
Happy
yo.
born
Keep doing your
day.
thing, brother. You know what I mean? Hey, we appreciate you, man. We've been rocking with you for a long time. You know, whether it was Raw Out Radio Show and now it's, you know, Mars and Venus Show. We appreciate you, man, sending your songs over. But this is going to be Summertime Fling. This, again, one of my favorite joints. And I of course, man, I got to say it again. I like it nasty, but only with the right person. Thank you, DJ. Let's go.
Yeah. It just feels right.
It's Sean Beat.
Just so you know, I like it nasty.
Girl, you know it.
And you ain't gotta ask me. Just so there ain't no pressure on you. We'll do whatever you want to. I think you know, I like it nasty.
Girl, you know it.
And you ain't gotta ask me. Girl, we don't need no vows and no rings. But you can be my summertime fling. You been a vibe, let's get it right, let's get it right. When I hit it right, you can spin your life, you can spin your life. Hold up, wait. When I hit it right, you can spend a night, you can spend a night. Yeah, many nights, yeah, plenty nights. Look, hey, let me get back on my way. Ironic, you so immaculate, babe. Thinking about me for like half of your day. Call me your king with a capital A. In front of that, run it back. I get deeper than the thoughts of our haters. Busy, but you notice the cost of my labor. Sometimes I gotta pause for my neighbors. Sheesh, you too loud with it. Scratches on my back, too wild with it. Be everywhere, all around town with it. And still, I said I've been this. Know it's fire when there's lust involved. You her and I'm him, that's a plus for all. They tryna lock us down, then they must evolve. Cause when the temp's over 80, the cuffs come off. And that's real. Just so you know, I like it nasty.
Girl, you know it.
And you ain't gotta ask me. Just so there ain't no pressure on you. We'll do whatever you want to. I think you know, I like it nasty.
Girl, you know it.
And you ain't gotta ask me. Girl, we don't need no vows and no rings. But you can be my summertime. OG told us pump up the volume. I think that really meant turn up. 5 told us we building the game. I think that meant like murder. Either way, good green gon' burn up. Either way, good drink gon' get poured. Either way, girl, assure us the sun shines. You're too fine and divine to be ignored. And good Lord, you're so photogenic. Let's make a film and record it then. Take a vacay on the whim if you with it. Balcony sex for the audience and all defense. We locked in for real. Don't need no Instagram shocking reveals. We don't hide faces from none of our rivals. Our captions untitled like how does it feel? Ill. I know them girls sick of you. Fashion week, how you walk through every time. And you know I'm getting bigger and bigger with everyday fish scale songs. Hook 'em every line. I ain't lying, girl, these summertime vibes got me zoning. Hit the bed, cover me, girl, I'm going in. I already really know how you want it. For now, you be mine, I'll be yours for the moment. That's how we own it. Just so you know, yeah, I like it nasty.
Girl, you know it.
And you ain't gotta ask me. Just so there ain't no pressure on you. We'll do whatever you want to. I think you know, I like it nasty.
Girl, you know it.
And you ain't gotta ask me. Girl, we don't need no vows and no rings. But you can be my summertime fling. What I'm about to say might sound funny, but hear me out. They say thick thighs save lives, well, it kill me out. You told me that every superhero need his theme music. Well, I'ma let you grab the mic and tell you sing to it.
Anywhere, please. Oh, I'm tryna give it to you anywhere and everywhere you go. Anywhere, please. Oh, I'm tryna give it to you anywhere and everywhere you go.
Well, again, that was my joint, man. Amari the King, Summertime Fling, yo. What? I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Again, happy born day to my dude, man. Yo, make sure your peoples is checking out the show, man, and make sure you tell everybody in KY we said what up. You know, okay, of course, from Baltimore and VA, we doing our thing up in this joint. But this is my last part, and I think this is going to be one of those things where it is. It's probably the hardest part of all of it.
Okay.
Well, the second hardest part.
Yeah.
Because The hardest part is how you process it. But then the last part of it is how do you move on? So, man, I would say that you have to start with trusting the process that you've gone with. Understanding what your thought process is and what you are going to what are you going to achieve next. Like, because what you don't want to happen is you don't want to jump into the next situation and, like you said, bring that baggage.
Right.
So you have to trust the process that you go with. No matter how you try to get rid of it, you have to get rid of that negative energy. Whether it was negative energy that you created or not, you have to cleanse yourself from that.
Right.
So I would say that you would have to start looking at things like things that we don't look at as in the Black community, which like are counseling and things of that.
Right. Yeah.
So like you have to talk to somebody who probably understands the feelings without it being a personal connection, right?
Right.
Because what ends up happening is we start to listen to our circle, and our circle is not going to be very positive about that person because they met that person.
Right.
They know exactly what the situation is. So they're going to give you shit to say, well, girl, you did this. My man, you did this. Everything was good on your part. It was her fault, blah, blah, blah. They're going to start pointing blame, and you don't want to have a blame type of retaliation or type of, what is it? Damn, what's the word? Rejuvenation of yourself. You don't want to be retaliatory when it comes to that.
Right.
You want to be able to kind of understand the faults on both sides, but also bring it together from an objective standpoint from somebody else that doesn't have any knowledge of the situation.
Right.
I think that's how we move on. But also you just have to kind of just really know yourself. Because you have to reconnect with that person again. Because you gave a part of yourself to somebody, you trusted them with it, and now it's damaged. Now you have to repair it. So repair first, move on second.
Okay. So good stuff.
Make sure everybody get a drink at this point.
At this point, you definitely need to make sure that you have your drink of choice. Key part of moving forward is not going backwards. See, when we're in the first segment, we talked about.
Let me put a pin in that one.
Put a pin, right? The reason of the breakup. So that's when you're in the midst of it.
The
second segment, we talked about the process and handling. But now that we're trying to move forward, you cannot go backwards. So that's why I agree with my co-host at this point, especially depending on how deep, because there's different levels in relationships. So you've been with someone for years. We're talking about a breakup from a marriage. Definitely professional help, and he's right. In our community, we don't do that, but it's so needed. I also agree with him that you got to be careful with who you speak with, because now you're in a point in your journey where you want to move forward. But now that you've talked to your BFF, she's kind of taking you back. She's not helping you move forward because she's still talking about the reasons of the breakup. She's talking about what he did wrong, what she did wrong, what you did wrong, and how you should never ever been with him in the first place. And you're trying to move forward.
Right.
So in your process and your journey of moving forward, you definitely want to keep going forward. I also suggest get back to those things that you used to love, or creating new things. Because a lot of times, and you probably can agree to this, co-host, when we get in these relationships, you get so caught up in the relationship that you stop doing things that you enjoy doing, like hanging out with your friends, visiting those family members, working out, or just, whatever it is that you enjoyed before you got into this relationship, finding yourself in, that's so
I agree. You gotta go back to the basics of your personality and rebuild yourself.
Yeah.
And I think most people will try to not tie their personality to the other person. But once you connect with a person on a certain level, it's going to be connected.
Yeah.
So like, it's hard not to think about the things that you guys used to do together, whether it was, cooking, eating, whatever it is. It's hard to forget about those things. But the one thing is to get back to the original root of who you are. Like you said, you got to get back to the root cause, like the root personality that you started with, because that personality doesn't go anywhere. It just takes a back seat for the most part, because now you're creating something mentally for both people.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to kind of make sure that you're not forgetting about that person that's back there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you neglect that person back there too long, she's going to change or he's going to change by the time you get back.
You lose yourself. Yeah.
So focus on not losing yourself. And and again, we talk about expanding access points. Expand your circle a little bit. Yeah. You know, like you can't go off of these toxic people that might be in your inner circle right now because they're already hurt for you. Right. And now they're trying to find ways to hurt that person again.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of move past your inner circle and go outside of that aspect. So I think that's a good idea. And I mean, really, you have to take yourself away from the situation. And again, find things that distract you from thinking about the toxic breakdown of what happened, right?
Yeah.
And then also introduce yourself to something that you may have not done before.
Yeah.
So take yourself out to I like poetry, right?
Okay.
So go out and go to spoken word night or something. You don't even have to go up and read yourself, but you're gonna hear some of the pain and things that you're dealing with in this poetry, and it may help you process the things that you're dealing with, right? Breakups are not meant to break you as a person. They are meant to build you for the next relationship that you decide to get in further up the road. Yeah. It's not something that's meant to break you. Right. So let's make sure that we clear that up because most people don't see it that way. So breakups are building blocks for the future. Right. Not to tear you down and go back to the past. So just keep that mindset going when you move forward. I would say that we do a lot of reflecting, but we also have to make sure that we're actually absorbing the reflections that we see. So, I mean, I feel like we got a little deep on this one, but I love it. I love it, and I love your shirt. By the way, I love your shirt. By the way,
you see this?
It's still not as good as my shirt though.
I know, but you have on the best shirt.
my shirt is better. Anyway,
I got another one. So you're moving forward, right, in your journey, not being afraid to get back out there. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting back out there for another serious relationship. You know, I think we got to change our mindset. It's nothing wrong with, okay, you break up and then you do know that you want a long-term relationship, right? But don't put too much focus on it. You know, like I said, don't be afraid to get back out there, whether it's online dating, whether it's getting back at that gym, whether it's going to a poetry night, whether it's your friend, saying they have someone they may want you to meet or a family member, but actually put yourself out there. Like I said, even if you're not ready for long term, just getting back out there in the dating field, because that could be another distraction. However, I should have said this piece first. If you are not over your breakup, I do not suggest getting back out there dating.
No, because it's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous because one, you're putting yourself in a vulnerable state.
Yes. Now
but you're also
your booty up.
Yeah. So you put yourself in a situation where you automatically might end up doing something that you regret. Right. And then you're starting another healing process.
Right. And you
preface it like this. All right. So this is probably not gonna like land well with most people, but
okay.
Give yourself
Go ahead.
Give yourself a whole phase. You have to be out there and experience some things that you probably never experienced. So give yourself a whole phase. I know that. I know you didn't.
One thing I like about our show is we are not scripted. So with only thing we know is the title of the segments, our production team, and we all get together, put that together. We know the songs. As far as what he gonna say and I'm gonna say, we don't know. I'm in the middle.
Give yourself a whole phase. Give yourself a whole phase.
And you know what? Even if it's being a hoe within yourself. So
that's what I'm saying. Like it's not just the hoe just being out there being promiscuous. Yeah. What I'm saying is allow yourself to meet different people that would be outside of your scope.
Yes, I'm with you on that. We gotta stop the first date you go on, ladies. You attach yourself to that brother. Oh, you know what? This sounds good. Oh wow, he got a good job. He's nice. He smells good. He looks like he's faithful. The last one cheated on me, and then you attach yourself to him.
Don't do it.
No,
Don't
date a few
do
of
it.
them, ladies. Because the men they gonna date a few of us. Okay, so ladies, y'all go out.
Date them all. Date them all, baby.
Date them all. Date them all. Enjoy your singleness.
But what I'll say is, do not make a mistake and text the wrong one.
Yeah. Please. That's so
Make
good.
sure your connections are right. Make sure your connections are right.
If you know,
Make
Jay
sure
is a
you're orderly.
common name. Okay,
You have to
Jay
be
is a common
orderly.
name. So
Oh,
if they got the same name, you say Jay, tall Jay, short Jay, whatever, you know. But
something that distinguishes person from the other person. It has to happen. It has to happen.
Right.
So
another
make
thing
sure
that's
you.
Go ahead. He like this part. Go ahead. He trying to help your brothers out. He's talking about y'all brothers, because y'all gonna be a whole lot of women.
Brothers, listen. Make sure you differentiate which one you're talking about. Because I in my personal life, I've met multiple girls with the same name.
Yeah, like Tasha, Keisha, Ebony. It's a whole lot.
Tiffany, Jasmine. I'm like, damn, which Jasmine was that? You know, it is what it is. But you have to kind of make sure that you're putting yourself in a situation where you don't text the wrong one.
Right, please.
Because of Jasmine from 6 years ago, probably gonna be like, well, nigga, what the fuck? How'd you get my number still? How'd you get in contact with me? Right.
And you didn't even mean to text her, so you're right about that.
You didn't even mean to text. You didn't even mean to text Jasmine. You meant to text. You meant to text.
Other Jasmine.
You know, the new Jasmine.
Right, the new Jasmine.
The Arabian Nights Jasmine. That one. The one that came from Prince Aladdin or whatever. But anyway, like literally, we run into that situation and we pull things from those types of situations, but it helps us move on because we're in a different environment.
Right.
We're out. Make sure that you're outside of your comfort level on certain things.
Okay.
Not gonna say everything, but certain things. Meeting new people outside of your circle is never a bad thing.
Right.
Allowing people access to your personal life is something that you have to be cautious with. So you share enough of yourself to allow them to feel comfortable talking to you.
Okay.
But do not, I repeat, do not give them the keys to your castle.
Right. Because this is the dating phase. You might have
do not give them the keys to your castle.
Right. I got one.
Yeah, go ahead, sis.
With moving forward, be okay with being single. Okay.
God damn it! You took another one of mine.
I'm telling you, that's a biggie, especially for women. I think men are probably okay, but like you've been in this long-term relationship, you've been in this marriage, for years. You thought it was going to be forever. Now you have a divorce, so you've been in this relationship forever, and now you have this breakup. You have to be okay with being single, because if not, you're going to rush into another situation. So be okay with being single. Go ahead. I'm gonna stop there so he can talk about be okay with being single. Go ahead.
I agree with you 100% because one, the only way you're gonna move on is to be able to be in your own personal space.
Yes.
As a solo artist, you have to be a
solo artist. I know that's right.
You have to be a solo artist. You have to be able to paint your own pictures.
Yeah.
You cannot depend on somebody else to make you feel whole.
Ooh.
So we do these things. And I'll say it for me. I've been guilty of it, where I thought something was great. I thought it was going to go well, and I felt like I couldn't progress without this person.
Yeah.
And it made me a little bit more reluctant on getting out there.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have that person as my crutch. So what we have to do as men and women, no matter what our affiliation is, we have to make sure that we're doing what's best for us.
Yes.
Individually. Without it being tied to the other person. So once we step outside of that comfort zone, we also have to understand that there are boundaries that we need to set. And those boundaries do not have limitations. We have to have the boundary of personal space, personal emotional intelligence, we have to have those boundaries. And then when it comes to the psychological part of it, that shit has to be guarded 100%. Because if it's not guarded, you allow somebody to manipulate you as to what they want you to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to guard ourselves against all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think relationships have been the cornerstone of so many things in society that we forget that people are allowed to be alone.
Yeah, like
I'm allowed to be in my own solitude at this point.
That's right.
And there's nothing wrong with me
Nothing.
mentally. I am just processing the things that I need to process for me.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see me walking down the street with my headphones on and I'm in my own zone,
mm-hmm. I'm in my own zone.
Right. And I speak to you and I say, what's happening? And you say nothing. And I say, okay, I'm going to keep moving. If you don't have anything like progressive to add to what my conversation is, I don't need to hear anything else from you.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I feel when I'm in my solitude. Like being in solitude the last 2 years, since COVID happened, I found myself expanding into a lot of deeper thinking for myself. Okay. And so when somebody says something surface value, I'm going to immediately react to it because I feel like I didn't project that to you. So like, why the fuck do you feel like you can say that at this point?
Yeah.
Like that's just me personally.
Right.
Like I didn't say, oh, you had to do this. No, I was just letting you know that this is what I'm doing in case you want to be involved in it.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you have to be involved in it.
Right.
Like you can say, no, I don't want to fucking be a part
I won't do
shit.
it. I got one.
What it is.
I got one before we end this segment.
Go ahead.
After a breakup, part of moving forward is looking at your list, right? Because we all have a list of we got check and balances, what we want, what we desire. After a breakup, that list may have changed. You may need to take some things off. You may need to add some things up there. Okay, so look at your list again.
It's fucked up. The shit balance is off. The balance is off.
Look at your list of what your desires are for your mate. And you want to look at that list when you're moving forward before you jump into another relationship. Period. Look at your list.
Very true. So
if you don't have one.
Before you jump into that next relationship, let's jump on the motorbike with Leon Bridges, man. One of my favorite artists, yo. Like I love Leon Bridges, like because he gives me this like Sam Cooke feel.
Okay.
Motorbike. Leon Bridges is next. We'll be back, yo, to finish up the show. And again, did you not feel that? Did you feel?
Yeah,
that was
that song? Yeah, I enjoyed it. I was.
So like, yo, my man Leon Bridges, man, he has this one joint called oh man, what the fuck is it called?
What is it so we can check it out? Give it to us.
Man, hold up. I'm gonna have to look it up real quick and then I'll get it to you.
But Leon Bridges.
Leon Bridges. Like I said, I feel like he's our generation version of Sam Cooke or any of those soul singers that we had, Ray Charles, any of them, because he has a song that kind of mirrors those types of things.
Yeah.
We know what happened, with Sam Cooke and everything, but being a black artist who's not afraid to step out is what I'm saying to you. So what we're gonna do right now is, sis, I'm gonna allow you to peel back the layers for us real quick, because at this point, I know that you have been taking notes on everything we've been talking about.
Yeah.
So let's do that. All right.
So thank you, co-host, for that part. This is probably like one of my favorite parts of the show. So if you have been tuning in, then you see the topic today is breakups. How do you handle them and move forward? In the first segment, we talked about reason for breakup. There's so many different reasons, right? Whether you caused them, whether you were part of the breakup, whether you broke up with the individual or someone broke up with you, doing that, you have to self-evaluate, self-reflect, and take accountability for the part that you played during this breakup. That is so key. Instead of trying to, do the blame game and blame it all on her or blame it all on him, self-reflect and take accountability for what role you played, because this will help you during your healing process. This will help you in the end when you need to move forward and you're, getting out there dating again. So that's very important. In the second segment, we talked about processing it and handling this breakup, which is so hard. For women, it may feel like grief, death, failure. For men, it may feel the same, or it may feel like freedom. It could feel you could have, depending on who you are, so many different emotions behind, right? So while you're processing and handling it, you know, journal. You know, you can journal, write your thoughts out, but you got to get it out verbally. You have to get it out. Earlier, we talked about it may not be a good idea to talk to your circle. It doesn't mean that your circle, there's anything wrong with your circle, but you may want to seek a therapist in this process and handling it. You may want to journal, you know, and if you do seek support, stay off of social media during the process. During this process, it is not the time to put on social media how this person did you wrong. And because what's going to happen is when those memories come back around on Facebook, 2 years ago, you like, F him, his dick little, he ain't shit, you're gonna really regret that, you know? Doing this day and time, honestly, when you're looking for employment, because myself as a boss, when I'm in the process of hiring people, I do go to their social media. So that's why it's so important. Keep it off of social media, okay? Because you're gonna regret it later. So don't handle it like that. Doing your process and handling it, you may want to do things like go out to you may want to run, you may want to scream, you may want to go to what's the name of the place again? We giving them free promotion, but
rage room.
It's the rage room. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to bust their windows, flatten their tires. You don't want to process it their way, okay? I mean, in that way, because you will end up in jail.
Put a pin in all that. Put a pin in all of it.
What you say?
I said put a pin in all of it.
Put a pin in all of it. During your process and handling, you do not want to call. They cheated on you, now they're with someone else. Don't call the other woman the other man. They have nothing to do with, and I'm serious. I've done it. It's not a good thing, but I'm telling you, doing your process and handling, just that is not a good idea. Okay. Then the last segment, we talked about moving forward. In order to move forward, you got to keep going. Don't look back. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. Looking back is going to happen during the process, but not in your moving forward stage. Now, in your moving forward stage, you're going to go forward. And during this time, you want to get back to doing things that maybe you stopped doing when you were in this relationship. You may want to start a new hobby. You know what I mean? And you want to get your list out. Look at the different characteristics that may have been on your list that you accepted from the previous relationship that maybe you need to scratch off, or maybe you need to add to, you know? And moving forward, don't be afraid to be alone. Don't be afraid to be single. It is okay. And I'm going to tell you something. It is healthy. It is unhealthy to be a serial dater, meaning you're jumping from one relationship to the other. And that's why it's so many breakups. What? Go ahead, Coles. You know some serial daters.
No. I'm good. Go ahead.
Okay. You want to take some time to be single, because in your singleness, you're going to focus on yourself. So many of us, we jump from one relationship to another. And then what's happening is you're putting all your attention and energy into them that you're losing yourself. Okay. So that's, moving forward. And you have heard that from Miss Ebony.
Hey, Miss Ebony, thank you so much for providing us with that information tonight and peeling back the layers for us. Tonight's show, again, is sponsored by Christina's Sweet Creations, man. Her IG is Christina. No, I'm sorry. What the hell is that? I apologize. It's
Chris ChrisTinSweetCreations on IG. Okay? On IG.
So this also is a production of Black Star Media Group. Shout outs to our producers, Hollywood and DJ Teflon Don. Myself and Ebony have been doing this thing for quite some time now. Like at this point, again, we've known each other for quite a few years.
Yeah.
But the show itself will be based off of our relationship interacting, as her being a married woman and me being a single man.
And me being you being a man, me being a parent.
It's so many different dynamics that it's going to come from. So be open to accept a lot of the things that we do. With that being said, I think that this has been a great show, and I want to say again, happy holidays to you guys.
Happy holidays.
Again, I don't know what you practice or whatever, religion you're a part of. However, enjoy the time with your family, however the bonding goes. Um, you don't see a lot of stuff that's in the background for me right now. I don't have any holiday decorations up because I don't really have anybody visiting. So it's just me. Um,
And
my
let me
little
say this
Charlie
real
Brown.
quick, co-host, and for those of you that during this time of the year, because everyone isn't celebrating for whatever reason. For those of you that are grieving, our hearts are with you. During this time, if it's hard because you have the loss of a loved one, just remember those good memories of that person that is no longer with
Absolutely, absolutely. So we take those people with us into the
you. Yeah.
next part of our lives, and we also remember and honor their sacrifice and their growth and their things that they passed on to us.
Yeah.
So, with that being the case, I would say that it's been a great show, man. And again,
Yeah.
you guys enjoy your Christmas holiday, your Hanukkah celebrations, your Kwanzaa celebrations, whatever celebration you got going on. Again, this is right before New Year, so we're gonna come back. We'll probably have a show that's pre-recorded before then, but maybe we'll do a live show before New Year's,
Yeah.
just to kind of close out the year and recap what we've done for the year. So, with that being said, man, this has been the Mars and Venus show. It's your boy Q Smooth.
And your girl, Miss Ebony.
Yo, keep doing your thing, man. Be easy, take it easy, guys. We love
All
y'all.
right. Till next
Yeah.
time. Aren't you guys supposed to talk after?